So welcome back, everyone. We're here with Robin and Ty and the cheese litter. So Robin, maybe catch us up. How old are these babies now?
They are, I guess, 6.5 weeks.
6.5 weeks. Okay. So for those of you that are joining us, whether you're joining us on our Facebook page or you're joining us on Zoom, you're welcome to ask questions as we broadcast here. And either I or Robin and Ty will try and answer them. So I think what we should probably start with, because we haven't been live with these guys, I don't think since they were, have we gone live with them at all yet?
We have not.
Or was it right when they were babies?
Nope, not this group.
No, not this group. Okay. All the litters are starting to blur together. I apologize. But so with this group, so it's the first time we've been live with them. So why don't we introduce these little monkeys? Do you want to tell us who's who?
Okay, we'll start with our boys. We've got in the red collar, this is Mr. Nacho.
Nacho.
And green right beside him is Colby. Say hi, Colby.
Hi, Colby.
And
flanking around.
I don't know. I miss little boy. Oh, he's right behind me. Right on my toes. This little colorful guy in the rainbow color is Queso.
Oh, and Queso's got lots of tan on him.
He does. And the girls are both in the play structure. We've got Bree, who's black, and Cheddar is our yellow lab.
Our yellow. All right. So for those of you that have just tuned in, I see our numbers kind of going up here. Feel free to post any questions or comments you have. If you're on Zoom, you can type the comments or your questions into the Q&A box. So you can click on Q&A and enter your questions there, and we'll try and answer them. And if you are watching on Facebook Live, you can just type your comments right into the comment section of the live stream, and we'll try and answer them. So with these guys, how are you finding this litter? So these guys are out of Jazz, who is a brand new dog to you and a brand new dog to Pads. You've probably had a little bit of a chance to get to know Jazz. Are they much like their mom?
They are. They're a lot like their mom. They're a pretty quiet group. Really nothing like what I'm used to with the Reese puppies. So I found that these guys took a little bit longer to mature, like probably a good week.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff, the training and that just started about a week later to give them time to feel comfortable and have confidence.
Nice. And how is Jazz doing? This is her first litter, isn't it?
This is her first. She just turned 2 in March. She's doing fantastic. She's a great mom.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's how quickly things change, but I was actually in Calgary when these babies were born. And I think Jazz is probably one of the most like natural mums I've ever seen. Like right from her very first puppy, she was like, I know what to do and I know what my job is. And yeah, she's just a great little mom. So, so lots of activity in here. They are quiet compared to Reese puppies, aren't they? So
they are. They were just outside before this, so that took a little craziness out of them.
Yeah. But they look like they're kind of hitting that, like I'm getting tired and a little bitey stage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with these guys, what are you working on this week? So you said they matured a little bit slower. And so which milestone are you kind of at in terms of training and activities and stuff for these guys?
Well, let's see. In the mornings when I clean the whole pen area, they have kennel time. And so they're each in an individual kennel. Yeah. And they're usually, it takes me about half an hour to clean, and they're pretty happy. They have their meal inside their kennel, their breakfast. And then I open up all the kennels, and usually they'll stay in their kennels for maybe another whole hour.
Wow.
With the doors open. So they're doing great with kennel training. And then for training, we're working on, we've shaped their vest. And so we're just getting them used to clicking and treating for sniffing their vest, touching their vest. And now they're putting their head in their vest.
Nice.
And so now that they've got their head in their vests are on, and we're starting to train them to go to their bed.
Sorry, trying not to.
Train them to go to their bed now.
Oh, train them to go to their bed. Gotcha. So I'm going to just back up for those of you that are watching. If you don't know what we mean when we say we're shaping the dogs to put their head in the vest, is we use clicker training to kind of teach the puppies kind of through successive approximations of like what we're looking for. So rather than just picking up the puppy and putting a coat on them and shoving it over their head and kind of manhandling it onto them, we're actually asking them to participate in the process, because down the road when they're placed with a client, somebody that might have limited mobility, that might not be able to actually like push that vest right over top of the dog's head. We're asking the dog to learn to kind of push their head in and kind of help dress themselves. And so we're teaching them to do that just through what we call shaping. So, you know, when they kind of go to sniff it, we'll click them and give them a treat. And then when they get a little bit closer, we'll click and treat them. So, so that is our process. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if we have any questions. So if you're watching, you're welcome to ask questions about these puppies in particular. If you have questions about our program, questions for Robin and Ty about their volunteer role, you can just ask away, and you can type those in the Q&A box or in the comment section on Facebook Live. Or you can simply just watch and enjoy this puddle of puppy cuteness. I think we're all a little jealous right now, Robin. I know I would like to be sitting on the floor with a puddle of puppies in my lap.
It definitely is really nice to have a spring litter. It's they're so happy when they can go outside and have all the room to explore.
Yeah.
I think they're just a happier, more content group with lots of room.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, especially in Calgary where it gets so cold in the winter and that time outside is so limited when you have winter puppies or even fall puppies when it's wet and cold. So Kim is asking, are they still getting up at night? What does nighttime look like for these guys?
These guys, they love their kennel. They all sleep in their kennel at night with the doors open. And in the morning when I get up, I have very few pees or poops other than on the mats.
Nice.
So lift it up and use their pee pads and go right back to bed.
Nice. Sometimes we hear them playing at night. But
there might be a rowdy one that gets up and wrestles around in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Gwyneth is asking, do they outgrow the clicker training? No, the clicker training we actually use all the way through. So all the way through their training and even with our clients, they may use clicker training down the road if they want to kind of adapt new skills, teach new skills. So depends on the client, but some of them do. So clicker training is something that that we use all the way through, and it's a very kind of participatory way of training, and it really builds relationship because it allows the dog to be a really active participant in their learning, as opposed to something that they're doing out of fear or compulsion. It's something, they see it as a game. How do I get that next click? How do I get that next cookie? Now, that being said, we do clickers and are used primarily with these guys for shaping. And then once they learn something on cue, we do over time start to fade or randomize our rewards so that those behaviors can be performed. We never want food to be a bribe. We always want it to be a reward. So We don't want a dog that will only perform a cue if you've got a clicker and treats in your hands. And so we work really hard at our mechanics to make sure that it's used in a really positive, productive way, so that down the road we have dogs that just love to work. They're not necessarily doing it because they're hoping for that jackpot that they get a lot of when they're baby puppies, but it starts to diminish as they start to kind of get into the game and the enjoyment of the work. And certainly rewards continue, whether that's praise or food, etc., throughout their training. So a few questions here. So Sarah is asking, has Reese finished breeding? Yes, Reese is retired. And she has hit a sweet spot. Her soft landing is with our executive director, Laura, with other fellow retired breeding dog, Pepper. And so they are happy girls. So Reese is retired, and Jazz has moved in. But I know Laura has family in Calgary, and so Reese looks forward to visits with her Calgary mamas on occasion. So, and you got to see her recently when you were out at the coast to pick up puppies, right, Robin?
I did.
Yeah.
And she remembered me.
Yeah, well, that is not surprising. That's a lot of time. So Grayson's asking, is the program available to people with bipolar 2 disorder or PTSD? So we don't place dogs with clients with specifically for bipolar 2 disorder, but we do place, we have a PTSD service dog program, and that program is for first responders and veterans, and we currently operate that program out of Vancouver and Calgary. So we're a little limited. It's a brand new program for us, limited geographically because it's a fairly long placement period where we work quite actively with clients, a little bit different than our mobility service dog program, where it's just a short, quick 2-week kind of some online and then an in-person kind of intensive team training. I think it's about a week on campus. Although all of that has changed with COVID. So yeah, so we're doing that in Vancouver and Calgary. So Cindy's asking if any of these are coming to the Lower Mainland, and I don't know. Do you know, Robin? The cheese puppies?
I don't believe so. 2 of the boys are going to Dogs with Wings in Edmonton. And I believe the other 3 are staying here.
Okay. So yeah, so these guys are.
You guys have a lot of puppies.
We absolutely have a lot of puppies right now. So yeah, I was looking at the list, and there's one day where we had 3 litters of puppies going out on the same day. So it's a little bit crazy right now. So everybody's starting to snooze on us here. They're pretty cute. Oh my goodness. It's a nice size litter too, hey, for training and stuff. Do you prefer the smaller litters? Or I mean, this one's kind of moderate in size. It's not huge, it's not small.
Yeah, I was telling Ty, I've never had a litter of 6, but something in my head says I think that's the perfect size. Because 9 is, you get kind of tired with all the training. You get exhausted, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Katie had mostly big litters, and so I'm familiar with that feeling of just like total exhaustion, because when you're spending 15 minutes or so working individually with puppy, all of a sudden, if you go from 6 to 10, well, you just added another hour to your day with another 4 puppies. So yeah, I think 6 is a really good number. I think it's our average, actually. I was asking Jackie recently, and I think that's about our average litter size. So these guys are going to be going, Alina's just asking when they're going to Razors, and these guys are going out in about 2 weeks, right?
The Friday of the long weekend, I believe.
Oh, sorry, right before the long weekend or after the long weekend? Sorry, you cut out.
Before, so a week and a half.
Okay. Sorry. If somebody is watching in the comments, can you tell me if Robin is breaking up, or is it something on my end audio wise? I just don't know if it's my speaker that's being goofy or if I'm having trouble kind of catching you, Robin. But yeah, so these guys will go out to razors. We've had a few. Okay, thanks, Vicki. Okay, it's apparently a problem on my end, so hopefully I won't ask you to repeat things then. So thanks, everyone. Oh, lots of people saying that Robin's crystal clear. Great. Okay. Any other questions from those of you watching on Zoom or watching on Facebook? And we will stay tuned in for another minute or two here if you've got any last minute burning questions. But then we are going to sign off. We've got a few guests coming up. Well, if you want to type in questions, you can, but I will tell you about, so we've got two guests that I'm particularly excited about coming up. So one is Brad McCannell, who has recently been matched with Pad Sandy, a service dog, and he's previously had two dogs with us, first Montana and then Chip. So they were both golden retrievers. He now has a Labrador. And Brad is a really, really fun guy. So he's very entertaining and fun to kind of chat with, but he's also super knowledgeable. So he works in barrier-free design. So he works for the Rick Hansen Foundation, and I'm going to get his title wrong, but he's one of their vice presidents and oversees kind of their accessibility kind of standards projects, so making buildings and facilities more accessible. And so he's always really fascinating to talk to and ask questions. So, and so he's coming on next week. We're going to be at a slightly different time. I believe it's 12:30. So check that out on the Tune In Tuesday page on our website. And then the following week, we are going to have our youngest Tune In Tuesday guest ever. So Felicity, who is one of our breeder caretakers, and they currently have the Titanic litter. And so we were counting, I think that Felicity has helped her family rear 16 litters of puppies over the years. And she is going to come on and kind of talk about her perspective. And she is heavy involved. She works with the training. She helps with deliveries. She's one of the few people that I've gone out to whelp with, and I say, can you pass me the hemostats? And she knows exactly what I mean and doesn't hand me the scissors. And she's just a great kid. So I'm excited to have her on, and I know she's excited to share. So she's going to be coming on the week after the long weekend, so the last week of May, with the Titanic litter of puppies. So, and Vicki says to tell you, Robin, that as soon as you spoke, that Donner woke up and checked out the screen. So Donner is a former puppy that was born in Robin's house. So it just goes to show they never forget. So, and oh, sorry, Katie's correcting me. Brad is coming up on May 25th. So at 12:30. So I had my times wrong. I apologize. So, and next week, I am shockingly going on holiday. So we don't have a guest next week. I should have remembered that. So, so we'll have Brad, and then we'll have Felicity the final week. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we're excited to see you kind of in our upcoming weeks with a few of our other litters. And thank you, Robin and Ty, for sharing these little monkeys with us. They look like a very chill, cuddly little bunch right now. Are all 5 of them in your lap, Robin, or is there one in the kennel?
There's, yeah, you probably can't see Colby. He's in the kennel right beside me.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you both for coming on, and we will chat with you again soon, I'm sure. But thanks for sharing your babies with us.
All right, thank you, everyone.
All right. Take care. Bye, Ty. Bye, Robin. And thank you, Lanny, for closed captioning as always.